pastor, a courtroom, and a case that divided an entire country. For years, Timothy Omotoso was seen as a prophet, a man believed to speak for God. Young followers trusted him, listened to him, obeyed him. But in 2017, everything changed. He was arrested and accused of rape, sexual assault, and human trafficking. What followed was not just a trial, but years of testimony, legal battles, and national outrage. And then in 2024, he walked free. No conviction, no prison sentence. But just weeks later, he was arrested again. This time, not for rape, but for being in the country illegally. And on 12th May 2024, he was deported. So what really happened inside that courtroom? Were the allegations proven, or did the system fail? And how does a man go from facing life-changing charges to walking free and to being removed from the country entirely? This is the Omotoso case. In the early 2000s, Omotoso founded Jesus Dominion International in Durban. The church expanded across provinces. Its structure emphasized on youth programs, mentorship systems, and loyalty to prophetic authority. Services were vibrant and disciplined. Young congregants joined inner ministry groups. Some relocated to serve in different branches. To followers, this was spiritual growth. To prosecutors, it would later be described as centralized control under one dominant authority figure. At the center of it all was Timothy Omotoso. In April 2017, Omotoso was arrested at the Eastern Cape Airport. Authorities allege that several young women had been recruited into church programs, relocated between branches, and subjected to sexual acts under coercive conditions. He and two female co-accused were charged. The matter proceeded to the Port Elizabeth High Court in a trial that would last for many years. Alongside the serious criminal charges, immigration issues surfaced. Authorities allege that Omotoso had violated provisions of South Africa's immigration laws. These included claims that he did not possess the appropriate visa status for certain activities in the country. There were irregularities relating to his residency documentation. In addition to the criminal proceedings, immigration authorities initiated processes that could lead to deportation. This introduced another layer of complexity in the Omotoso case. Supporters argued that immigration enforcement was being used strategically during an ongoing criminal case. Critics argued that immigration compliance is mandatory for any foreign national operating in the country, regardless of religious status. The question shifted from criminal guilt to legal presence. Could he legally remain in South Africa? Inside the courtroom, the focus shifted from legal argument to lived experience. Complainants took the stand and described what they said were tightly controlled spiritual authority structures, environments where obedience was expected and questioning leadership was discouraged. They spoke about expectations of submission, about hierarchy, about situations they described as coercive. One witness testified that she was a minor when the alleged abuse began. According to her testimony, she described what she called a routine. She said she would be summoned to pastor's private room under the pretext of spiritual service, initially to massage his feet, before she alleged being forced into sexual acts. She further testified that refusal was not presented as an option. In court, she alleged that psychological manipulation played a central role. She told the court that she was warned she would lose her mind or be cursed by God if she did not comply. The alleged threat was not physical force alone, but spiritual consequence. If you're enjoying this video, subscribe to the channel. The famous Idols twins also testified that they were pressured by church elders to move into Omotoso's house. They described a life of threats and fear, stating they were made to believe Omotoso was the only path to a relationship with God. Another witness testified that she was introduced to the church at 17. She described being summoned to pastor's room and complying with instructions because of what she perceived as his supernatural authority. In her account, she portrayed him as a figure with prophetic power and an unpredictable temper, a combination that she said created fear. Both testimonies centered not only on alleged acts, but on influence, the weight of religious authority, and the psychological impact of belief. The defense challenged these accounts, questioning consistency and motive. But inside the courtroom, the testimonies underscored a central issue. When spiritual power is absolute, what does consent mean? His defense counsel also challenged timelines, credibility, and consistency. The trial faced postponements, prosecutorial changes, and technical legal challenges. The immigration matter remained active in parallel. Legal analysts noted that when criminal and immigration proceedings intersect, procedural complexity increases significantly. The case became prolonged and highly publicized. Parallel to the criminal trial, immigration authorities examined Omotoso's residency status. South Africa's immigration framework is governed by the Immigration Act 13 of 2002. Under this law, foreign nationals must hold valid visas corresponding to their activities in the country and comply with conditions of stay. The Department of Home Affairs alleged that Omotoso had contravened provisions of the Act. Key legal possibilities in this case involved Section 29, declaring a person prohibited or undesirable. Section 30, grounds for deportation, administrative cancellation of visa status. South Africa's immigration law operates independently of criminal verdicts. Even if acquitted in criminal court, a foreign national may still be declared undesirable if found non-compliant with immigration requirements. After years of testimonies and administrative delays, on 2 April 2024, the Port Elizabeth High Court acquitted Omotoso and his co-accused on all charges, citing that while these explanations appeared improbable, the prosecution's poor cross-examination of the accused failed to disprove their version of events beyond reasonable doubt. Legally, he walked free from the criminal charges, but his immigration compliance is also running separately. Following a massive public outrage over the verdict, the National Prosecuting Authority launched an extensive internal investigation. In late 2025, the NPA initiated formal disciplinary proceedings against the involved prosecutors for ethical breaches and professional misconduct. The NPA publicly admitted that the former prosecutors acted improperly and that the case damaged public confidence in the justice system's ability to handle sexual and gender-based violence matters. It later emerged that the judge who had initially presided over the case was forced to step aside. The reason is that his wife owned a guest house that had been accommodating some of the key witnesses. The revelation raised concerns about a potential conflict of interest, prompting the judge to formally recuse himself from the proceedings to preserve the integrity of the trial. At the same time, controversy began to surround the prosecution itself. Previous prosecutors involved in the case were accused of allegedly coercing witnesses to alter their original statements, an allegation that further complicated an already deeply contentious trial. Following his acquittal from the High Court in April 2024, Omotoso was rearrested on immigration-related charges. Omotoso challenged his arrest and was also acquitted on that charge. Legal representatives expressed many issues with the process. However, after his appeal for residency extension was rejected by the department and was given 14 days to depart the country, on May 12, 2024, Omotoso decided to self-deport from South Africa to Nigeria. The deportation was executed under immigration enforcement powers, not criminal sentencing. He was declared undesirable for 5 years. The acquittal divided the country. The deportation did as well. Supporters argued he had been cleared by the courts. Deportation appeared xenophobic. Critics also argued that immigration compliance is mandatory, and sovereign states have absolute authority over foreign nationals' residency status. The debate shifted from criminal accountability to state sovereignty. The Omotoso case demonstrates how two legal systems can intersect: the criminal justice system and immigration enforcement system. One addresses alleged criminal conduct, the other addresses lawful presence in the country. In April 2024, the criminal court acquitted him. A month later, the immigration law deported him. The case reshaped conversations about regulation of religious institutions, prosecutorial standards in complex sexual offense cases such as this one, and the independence of immigration law enforcement. This leaves a final and uncomfortable question. When a nation separates belief from legality, which system ultimately defines accountability? If you value African history told with depth and honesty, consider subscribing to this channel.